Welcome to Praying with the Canon, our second installment, and thank you for the responses that you gave from last week. I'd also like to invite you, if you would like to send me an email to tell me how it's going, to tell me what your experience in engaging God in this way, what that's been like for you, struggles that you've had, insights that you've had. And it's robertgriner@yahoo.com. robertgriner@yahoo.com is my email address. And if you have any struggles or questions or something you want to say to share with everybody else, I thought that this might be better to do in the YouTube format so that you could go back, and some very kind souls said that they plan on looking at it often, and so that's also, of course, available to you. So today we're going to talk about bringing our, in Bishop Hughes's words, our authentic self before God. And in the old pattern that I pitched to you last week about the 4 types of prayer, the gimme prayer, or the intercessions or requesting of things, petitions, the oops prayer of confession, the thanks prayer of gratitude, and then the wow prayer of adoration or doxology. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the oops prayer and the prayer of thanksgiving. So again, to kind of rehearse some of the principles, we're going to put our feet flat on the floor. And the other thing too is that we've kind of increased the volume of the phone recording this, so hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for you to understand. The other thing too that I did in listening to myself this week is that I put on my headphones, my earpods, so that I can listen to it, and that really was quite helpful as well. So let's just begin with a period of silence. And I'll start again with another thing that I do in my practice, in kind of my crazy mind, but it works for me. And so I just want us to start with that kind of feeling. And Lisa, you can sit if you want and join me. Oh, you're not supposed to be here, that's right, I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll start by breathing out. And I pressure breathe about 2 or 3 deep out breaths. Pressure breathing meaning pursing my lips, impeding the flow to put more oxygen in me. And after doing this for a long time, I associate this experience of engaging and connecting with God with that very deep, kind of feeling. A feeling of relief. I look for it in my body. That sense in my belly of well-being. Like you're really, really thirsty and you're drinking. All right, well, so this was just to kind of get us a little bit in the mood. And so I want to give a whole new take on the whole notion of confession. And, because of course, in confessing before God, we're not telling God anything that he doesn't already know. Right? I mean, it's just that we're kind of owning up. We're stopping the whole enterprise of hiding ourselves from God. This kind of moment of prayer, of connecting to God, is one of great vulnerability. I think it's one of the reasons why it's so hard to do it. Because our minds might automatically drift to painful moments or embarrassing moments or One of my favorite phrases is the wince-worthy moments of my life. Like, oh God, Robert, I can't believe that you said that kind of thing. These are very, very important things to begin a session with God, opening up to God, revealing to God, being unafraid of before God, turning them over to God. Remember that we deal with the God unto whom all hearts are open, no secrets hid, everything known, and still, God does not turn away from us. It's that kind of bringing of ourselves as we are before God. That's the very heart of confession. I'd like to start with a psalm, and it's Psalm 43, and it's got this wonderful verse in it. Why are you so full of heaviness, O my soul? Why are you so distressed, anxious, pent up? Why is it, Robert, that you seem to have to relearn life's lessons over and over and over again? The psalmist is so human, so brilliant in that articulation, that honest revealing of a heart's struggle. Why are you so full of heaviness, O my soul? But do you see what's behind it? It's this real sense of self-judgment. You know, why do you keep having this heavy soul when that's what you got, right? That's what you got. And so in this process of offering ourselves, surrendering ourselves just as we are, confessing who we are, perhaps we can take that element of judgment, of self-judgment out of it and say something like, here I am, God. Here's that heavy soul that you know so well. And I'm going to take that heavy soul and breathe it to you and give it to you to blow out all of the junk that is within me and sort of offer it as an offering to God, a valuable offering that God can use for a purpose. Here I am. Now, let me pivot for a second. When I engage God, I don't like to spend a whole lot of time reliving the negativity that I bring to God. You know how it is when something kind of happens to you that bothers you. You know, what did they mean by that? Or something that you said that, as I said, is a wince-worthy moment. And there's a whole kind of body response to that. I don't know about you, but I feel most of my emotions in my belly, and it kind of roils around. I'm not sure how helpful it is for us to spend a whole lot of time reliving those negative moments. It's a particular kind of preacher's dilemma that anybody who preaches knows about. I could be at the door of the church and hear 10 people say something positive about their church experience. But one person sort of saying something negative, it's like, it resides in my belly. And sometimes it takes quite a while for it to dissipate. I don't need to relive those moments of injury or of conflict at the door of the church before God. I simply offer that gut experience of them to God and say, you know what? I'm not very good at managing these. Maybe you're better, God. And I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you a chance to take this from me. So confession is offering ourselves, breathing it before the Lord, and saying, you take it. You take it. I want to give it to you. Let's try that for a moment. I'm going to split the two forms of prayer, the oops and the thanksgiving, into two separate meditations. Let's begin again, breathing deeply in and out. I'm paying attention right now to a pit in my stomach. The pit might be anxiety. It might be conflict. It might be worrying about what's going to happen. Reliving that irritating thing that already happened. I'm not calling all the details of that to mind. I don't want to give them that much power. But I want to offer my interior life to God. Here I am. Take me. Here is all of me. The distress, the worry. Take it. Not mine anymore, but yours. Surrender as confession. I want us to repeat in our mind at the exhale several sayings of I'm yours. I'm yours. I'm yours. I'm paying attention again to that sore spot, and I'm giving it to God. You take it. You take it. You take it. Okay, now, if you're anything like me, and I hope that you are a little bit and not too much, because God help you, but if something nasty happens to me, it can set up shop inside me for a long, long time. If something happens that is hits my trigger point, or somehow feels painful to me. Take, for instance, somebody says something nasty on Sunday. Theoretical, this never really happens, but just a theoretical. That kind of feeling of it can last and last and last, right? Now contrast that with something graceful happening, a gift being bestowed to you or upon you, something lovely occurring in your life. I noticed one time that somebody really went out of their way to give me a verbal gift, to say something affirming of me and something I did. And I noticed within me this impulse to go, oh, thank you so much, that's great. Now it's time to move on. I spent 30 seconds with that gift, and I can spend hours with some kind of jab. That is sick. Okay? That is the form of mental illness that I suffer from. And my suspicion is you might also. 30 seconds with a gift, and many of us attribute God to these gifts, working through the many people in our lives, right? 30 seconds, but hours with something negative. We can do something about that. It's called Thanksgiving. And so we apply in this moment of engagement of the God of grace the same principles that we automatically have built within us to react to things negative. Someone says something critical about your appearance. Wow, you really put on a lot of weight since COVID, right? And it goes around and around and around your head. It roils in your gut. You can become distracted and then realize afterwards that it's still there, going around your belly. Does that ever happen to you? Oh yeah, I could tell by my stomach I was thinking about something upsetting 5 minutes ago. I don't even remember what it is. Oh, that's right. It was somebody critical of my hair or whatever it might be that's happening with you. We can apply that same kind of principle of attention to set aside a time, this time of engagement, where we are going to recall over and over in our mind something lovely, something gracious, something that we know is a gift. I want you to think of something like that right now. I was talking with our wonderful camerawoman earlier about this, but last night on the video live stream of a basketball game, it was one in which both my sons were playing on the same team. They were both playing varsity. There was an outstanding play between the two of them that resulted in a score. It was a real gift for a dad to behold. Now, am I really going to spend 20 seconds kind of delighting in that experience and a whole lot of time in anxious, pent-up nastiness over something that's not going my way? I say no. I say that's poor stewardship. Think about something real that happened to you in the last week that kind of gave you, and still does, that kind of feeling. And I want us to conjure that up, to remember it, to look at it from every angle, so that it creates that same kind of belly feeling, but a positive one instead. That sense of well-being, that sense of I want to invite you for a couple minutes to think of something just like that. I know what I'm going to think about. I'm going to think about Sussex Tech varsity basketball against the dreaded Kennel. If this involves a person or an animal, it's important to recollect what their face looked like in this moment. And I'm bringing into this, on the exhale, into this reliving of the experience, thank you, at every exhale. So we now have entered the spa of Thanksgiving. We're breathing in the steam of the steam bath of God's grace. I was imagining in my mind's eye my two sons after the score doing the fist bump as they ran back to defend the other basket. Guess what? I don't know about you right now, but my soul is no longer heavy. I'm interested in this time for that sensation of lightness, of belly ease in a world of distress. God wants to give us just that, bringing our authentic, tortured selves into the presence of God. Amen.